Hi guys, Lex here, and today we're talking about a bit of an abstract topic, so I want you to bear with me because potentially this could change your view of money quite significantly. Let's get to it. And here it is. Money essentially has no value by itself. That piece of paper that we are trading for goods and services, that piece of paper has no value. What has value is the constructs and the energy that essentially that piece of paper symbolizes. Obviously, on a deserted island where you're all by yourself, money has absolutely no value whatsoever. The only thing that has value then is food probably, and shelter. What I'm essentially trying to get at here is that money essentially represents the energy that you put into it. Therefore, you exchange your physical or mental labor for money, and that money essentially represents the energy and the effort that you put into completing a task so that you could get that reward of cash, whatever it might be. It might be dollars, euros, whatever, it doesn't matter in this case. So essentially, my point is that money represents energy and potential energy of humans that through their labor have converted that energy into cash. So money in a way is a reserve of energy. And that is why we often hear the term money never sleeps, or money doesn't like sitting still, time is money. Things and phrases like that, if you essentially convert the word money into energy, you understand that the same holds true. Energy is never static. Energy is always moving. Energy is always flowing. There are so many aspects of money which are essentially non-physical, that are abstract, that transcend form. And if you look at money as energy, you will notice a few things which are very important. First and foremost, you will be very careful in how you expend it, and you will be actually starting to think about how can I multiply that even more? Because as I said, energy likes to flow from one place to another. Essentially, what rich people understand is how to control that flow of capital or energy for their own gain. Let's look at an example. Let's say you have a business where you are producing something, let's say milk, and that business is growing at an okay pace, but at some point it stops growing and you've reached a point where maybe you need new machines. Maybe you need a new employee which will help you find new markets. Maybe you need an expert in technology to improve your product. Or maybe you have some kind of a legal restriction that you need to improve so that it meets regulation. All of these things that I just listed are essentially stopping your growth. They are bottlenecks to the flow of energy. And once you start removing those bottlenecks, the capital can again start flowing. Essentially, money is a bit like a river. It flows and winds its way through different kind of businesses and services in the economy. And obviously it likes flowing where there is a lot of space. Water follows the path of least resistance. The same applies to money. Money also follows the path of least resistance. And in that case that I gave you with the business, in any activity really, there will be bottlenecks which prevent you from growing your income. That might be, as I said, the technology, the expansion of the business, regulation, whatever. And what the business owner essentially does is to start removing those bottlenecks. So he gets a bigger machine. He improves his product. He follows regulation. He hires more people. These are all bottlenecks for the growth of business that he has to remove in order for capital to flow and keep flowing and grow even more. At one point, he might actually reach a time where he himself is the bottleneck to that growing business. Because let's say that business is now making $10 million per year. Okay, but now it has grown, and it needs somebody who can think big, who can expand, who can handle that volume. And it could be that the entrepreneur himself does not have the skills or the abilities to take that business to the next level, to grow it even more, to make it 100 million or $1 billion business. Because the skills that are necessary to grow from that point to the next level and then to the next level are different. And it could be that the entrepreneur himself is stopping the flow of money, inadvertently, of course, because he does not want to give control of his business to someone else who knows more than him. And in that scenario, that person would need to basically do what is very hard for him, which is to surrender control of his business to a director or to a manager who could be more knowledgeable than him in certain areas, so that the business can grow and that bottleneck can be removed. And of course, the same applies to your personal finance. If you are holding on to your money in your bank account or somewhere else where it is basically stagnating, it is not moving, because of the desire for energy to move and inflation and all these forces, you are essentially eroding your capital. While if you let that capital go free, as in invest it somewhere where there will be a natural flow, it can grow and increase by itself. So essentially what we need to learn in our lives to be financially strong and independent is how to manage that flow, how to manage our own potential energy, how to channel it in a way that helps it grow and flow and increase and just prosper. So you might be asking yourself, okay, what's stopping me from earning more? Well, if you are working at a job, your bottleneck could be your knowledge. Your bottleneck could be your colleagues. Your bottleneck could be your boss, or your job in general is too small in scope while you have much more abilities and talents. So your task is to identify those bottlenecks and start removing them. If it's your boss or your colleagues the problem, maybe you need to speak to them, try to see how you can improve things. If it's your job, just quit, find a new one, find one where there is more perspective for growth. If it's you who are the limit, then you need to focus on your own education, on your own skills, on your own perceptions, whatever it might be. But you need to remove those bottlenecks so that money, that energy can again flow. Each and every one of those issues is a restriction to the flow of money. And that's what I need you to think about. See what you can change in your own life. Think of money as a river. Think of it as water, as energy that flows. Think of how you can remove bottlenecks to help that river flow freely, flow fast, and grow strong. Because if you have all these types of dams and debris or whatever in your financial river, then obviously it's not going to flow well. It might run dry. So clean your river up, remove those dams, grow it, and let it flow. That's it, guys. I really hope you understood what I mean, because it's a bit abstract, but I think this is a very interesting and valuable concept which has helped me personally tremendously, and I hope that it helps you as well. If it did, or if you found it interesting, please hit that like button, like, subscribe, comment as always, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.